so much. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Greetings to everyone throughout the world, whoever is joining us at this hour. This is our last breakout session for the day, but not the least. Welcome, Debbie Archer, Managing Director of ISKI Limited. As a renowned expert in software testing and quality assurance certifications, Debbie spent over 2 decades advancing professionals' standards in industry. Her passion for empowering professionals and organizations to achieve excellence is inspiring, and we are honored to have her share her insights with us. In this session, Debbie will explore the impact of certifications on career growth and test maturity, highlighting key programs like TMI and ISTQB. You will gain valuable insights into certification paths, practical skill development, and a broader software testing landscape. Please join me in welcoming Debbie Archer as she shares her expertise on certifications for career growth and test maturity. The stage is yours, Debbie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Vidya, for that very, very generous introduction. And thank you also to TMMI America for inviting me to speak today. Well, we're not going to be deep diving into complex technical waters. That's not what I do. And I've been absolutely blessed today to hear some absolutely fantastic talks that I can't recommend enough. Instead, we're going to tackle a topic which I describe a little bit like Marmite, if you're Australian, Vegemite. And I'll explain what that is. It's something that in breakfast in Britain you might have in your toast. And we say that people either love it or they hate it. And sometimes certification can be a little bit like this. And what I'd like to do today, it can polarize people a little bit. What I'd like to do today is perhaps just ask people to keep an open mind. And let's dive into, the world of certification and maybe just think about some of the benefits that it can bring, both at an individual level and also at an organizational level. A little bit, first of all, about me. I've popped a QR code in there for people who might want to link in and chat separately afterwards, or who might have some questions. I'm the Managing Director of ISKI Limited and VP of Business Development. So I've been in this industry, as you say, Vidya, for quite a long time. When I say this industry, I mean the certification industry. ISKI is an organization which is operating globally with a significant portfolio of certifications from software architecture through to business analysis, user experience and usability, service design, which is something which I'm very keen on at the moment, software product management, and of course, testing. One of the things I will mention is that we do operate to standards, and there is a standard for the certification accreditation of people, which is ISO 17024, and that is important because it means that actually the certification it's verified and it's trusted, and there's a level of integrity there which people perhaps do not understand, because we do operate with specific guidelines, frameworks and boundaries around us. Our ecosystem is quite complex. We operate with, work with certification boards, qualification boards, such as ISTQB and TMMI, and I've heard both mentioned several times today, and also with a range of accredited training providers. Just very quickly, it is about exams, everybody's favorite thing, doing examinations. What we do try to do is offer a lot of flexibility for people taking exams with various mechanisms to actually do that, whether it be at a Pearson test center or through a remote proctored exam. So quick visit to around the world of ISKI there. We've been doing this for about two decades, so a lot of experience in this area. Quick agenda. Let's explore the impact of certifications on career advancement a little bit. Why certify? Let's consider how certifications can enhance organizational maturity a little bit. And then I want to take you into a little dive into a practical approach for elevating testing skills using a tool. So This is an interesting slide, and I kind of debated it a little bit, and I checked again the statistics because I have recently done quite a tour around the world, and SQI have talking about skills development and usually talking about the skills shortage for testers. But I don't know how many people have just tuned into Sami Kolaru's session, but the market's a little bit strange at the moment, but nevertheless, what the statistics are saying is that the outlook is positive. So in the US, we're looking at apparently a 70% increase in QA and testing roles, and that's faster than the average job growth rate in most sectors. Looking at some statistics in Canada, and again, it's looking kind of quite good, saying that there are roles available or skills shortages there. So you'd anticipate that actually certifying in testing would actually be a very positive career move. I've done a lot of these presentations, and whether I've been to Kenya or Canada or here in the UK, there are recurring themes that are coming from employers and organizations. One of them could be the match between what is coming out of education systems, often tertiary education, university and what have you, the skill set of those people and the needs of the employers, and whether they're actually aligning and supporting the practical experience that employers need, but also the broader experience that perhaps some of the certifications, professional certifications can give. We're talking a little bit about the skills mismatch and the people who are in the market and how they're presenting to employers. Are employers actually seeing what they really need with regard to what the organisation is looking for? And again, I'd refer you just back to Sami's presentation, which really addressed that subject quite nicely. Employers are talking about rising costs and frustrations with talent acquisition. And I think that has an effect on the market. And add to that, there's actually, we all know about this, the transition towards cross-functional teams and a new skills mix. So who should be doing the testing? Something that, again, I'm hearing repeatedly is about the organization's approach to actually bringing testing skills through the organization. And traditionally, organizations have perhaps gone out to the market and they've just assumed we can employ. There's a big bank of people waiting to employ there. But actually, there's also a push towards becoming what we say talent creators, i.e. looking in-house, looking at their teams and thinking, how can we actually start to develop the skills that we need with the people that we have? So move from talent creators through to talent consumers. Driving demand, again, there's been so much talk about this today with AI, automation, DevOps, cybersecurity, and a recurring theme, which I'm very pleased to hear, is the need for skilled human testers. So obviously demanding, driving some demand for those type of roles. And the AI tools actually needing the human expertise in design, test design strategy. And this is the thing that keeps coming up again whenever I'm talking to organizations, employers, saying we're looking for people who have got those critical thinking skills. Why do they matter? We talk about this an awful lot, and I'm challenged about it. And as I said earlier, with certifications, people will say, you don't need it. Experience is what you want. Employers are looking for a CV that shows that actually you've been in job roles and you've actually done it. You've got the practical experience. But there is still a place for certifications. And, I hope that people come to the networking session later and debate this with me, because I enjoy listening to both perspectives and enjoy sharing different views about this. But it is an industry recognized validation of skills and knowledge to have that certificate. And in a field where precision and expertise are paramount, the credentials do demonstrate, I think, a commitment to professional development. They are a third-party verification of technical competence, and they're a signal to employers that you have met a standardized benchmark, particularly around something like ISTQB or TMMI. And I think this is important. It says something about you. It's a strategic investment in yourself to give you that competitive edge and stand out a little bit. The next point here kind of interested me a little bit, and this is from a particular salary data report, and it suggested that testers can earn a little bit more than non-certified testers. Certified testers can earn more. I put an exclamation mark there because I'm a little bit dubious about that figure, but nevertheless, I thought I'd highlight it because that is from an actual report. One of the other things about certifications is the reassurance for employers. As I mentioned earlier, the hiring process and talent acquisition is an expensive process. So certifications are part of the process of validating skills and perhaps reducing hiring risks. And again, something interesting that I found when I was researching for today is that Burning Glass and Lightcast reports are showing that there's been a 15% increase in job postings requiring ISTQB certifications. And I'll just add that that was a recent report as well. Can certifications advance organizational test maturity? And again, this is something which we're often challenged about. And just let's look at a couple of the highlights here. So standardizing skills and good practices. Well, we talk a lot about ISTQB giving a common language, giving common good practices. And, certainly some of these certifications can support test teams to follow consistent methodologies and the good practices. They promote the use of proven techniques, which I think is useful. It reduces the variability in testing approaches and leads to more reliable and repeatable processes. Supporting process improvement and TMI maturity levels. So I've heard so much today about TMI, and it's been wonderful. It provides a structured roadmap for test process improvement, obviously. And if you think about it, to advance to the TMI levels, organizations can benefit from having skills in test management, metrics, automation, defect prevention. And these are covered by the certifications. Certification programs equip testers with the skills to drive structured improvements. And again, if we look at something like TMI Professional, look at the ISTQB Advanced Test Management Certification and up to expert level, both test management and improving the test processes, then there's certainly skills to be had there which will help the organization reach its maturity levels. Enhancing test quality and organizational maturity, testers can contribute to high levels of software quality by applying structured test techniques, risk-based testing, and advanced defect analysis. Faster defect detection, low post-release failures, stronger alignment with development teams and agile and DevOps environments, all stuff that is reported from actually certifications actually being implemented within organizations. As a competitive advantage, this is an interesting one. A little bit there about regulatory compliance that, do perhaps have structured testing process a requirement. Some third-party validation for an organization where it has certifications in place with its teams. I know that one of the things that we know is very popular is the ISTQB partner program, which does actually indicate how many people are certified, or shows a commitment to certification rather. It's perhaps a better way of putting it. And there is some evidence that I think it can help win contracts. Again, let's look at the bigger picture here. It's not just about the individual then being certified. It's about the certifications, creating the skills within an organization, but having those certificates perhaps in place to prove it. Roadmaps and certification, and it's quite complicated, I think, and people trying to understand what might be most appropriate for them. And I think I always say to people as well, align your credentials with your professional ambitions. Where is it that you want to get to? I've included here the TMMI professional courses. What I will say is that TMMI splits into two parts. We've got the certification part, which begins with TMMI professional, which is all about the TMMI model and using it. And it's a standard multiple choice exam, but actually if you look at the syllabus and the content, it's got really good learning in there also. There's this thing called the TMI Test Process Improver, and that kind of builds on the TMI qualification, but it looks at actually having the skills to assess and also showing that you've got more advanced testing skills, perhaps. That could be demonstrated through some of the more advanced ISTQB certificates beyond foundation level. So we'll move on to the ISTQB scheme. This is the new ISTQB portfolio diagram, which some of you may have seen already. It's actually a diagram where you can hover over and you can actually deep dive into some of the certifications and look at the syllabi. It's available on the ISTQB website and indeed on the ISQI website. The way that it's been developed now is that we have CTFL at the core, the foundation level. And then we have these two areas. We have the core advanced and we have the specialist area. Within the core advanced, we have the test management certification, the test analyst, technical test analyst, and something which is now new into the core advanced is the test automation engineer, the advanced level test automation engineering certification, leading through, of course, now for from the advanced level to the expert level. The specialists have been divided into their specific areas. As you can probably see, we have technologies and approaches, quality characteristics and test levels, and testing in particular domains. And apologies for the acronyms. The actual diagram comes to life when you're using it in situ. And within this, you're able to actually plot a career path, which is really lovely. One of the things that ISTQB has done within the new portfolio diagram is to recognize the other certification schemes that may be relevant, such as IREB. So it's starting to consider, whether you call it a T-shaped tester or the pie-shaped tester, it's considering, that breadth of skill and also the depth of skill. I will mention A4Q because I'm going to very quickly go on and talk about the practical tester. They have a variety of certifications around, such as Selenium and Appium and SDET. And again, it can contribute to the holistic career, the holistic profile of any tester. Let's have a quick look at practical skills, because we're talking about certification here, and I know that I get a lot of feedback from people that will say that how can you really demonstrate understanding and practical application if you've just taken a multiple choice exam. Now, multiple choice is actually, it's well defined, and you can actually assess quite complex skill levels using multiple choice. However, we certainly had a lot of feedback from people to say that we want to be able to practice more. We want to have a safe environment where we can actually have some hands-on experience applying techniques, particularly the black box techniques as an example that the ISTQB CTFL covers. So let's just take a quick look in this, and I'm watching the clock here because I know that I'm going to be running out of time. So what is the ISTQB the ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q? Now, I'll just explain that naming convention. Previously, this product was the A4Q practical tester, and many of the ISTQB boards adopted this product or endorsed this product because it complements the ISTQB certified tester foundation level. So the whole idea of it is that it takes the theoretical principles and it helps put them into context through practice. It's a tool that uses AI, and I'll show you a quick clip hopefully in a moment about how it works. It simulates some real-world scenarios, and it allows individuals to practice and receive feedback. And it's unlimited practice. There's lots of different scenarios in here where you can actually play with it. And I have to say it's really, really good fun. It's really well curated content, and it is based on the CTFL content at level 3, K-level 3, if people are familiar with the ISTQB Foundation, K-level 3, which is where you're applying your knowledge. The exam itself, it's a little bit different from the usual multiple choice type exam. You actually have to put your free text answers in, and it actually marks it. So you're not actually selecting one of 4 and saying you think this is right. You're actually having to say what you know. Let's see it in action a little bit here. So it's asking about an online bus reservation system, and the person is typing in their answer, and the AI is marking it and saying that actually we've got a score of 50% here, you've got part of it right, and it will give you a recommendation for your next learning, which is really, really useful. Let's look at this one about equivalence partitioning. And again, the user is typing in the answer. The AI is evaluating it, and this is a good student. This is a student who's scoring 100%. Obviously, the tool allows you to just keep practicing and practicing and practicing these questions. The exam is very similar in format, so again, it's really getting people to think a little bit about what they're doing here with these techniques. I'll just quickly mention, because I've heard a lot of people talk about ISTQB today, and I wasn't going to add this into this presentation, but I did it very quickly last minute. It's a tool that, again, has been developed using AI, and it basically offers a realistic exam simulation. It's got very targeted learning in here. You can practice sample questions and keep practicing and keep deep diving into the chapters and using the AI feedback to help you to actually prepare for your certification. So that was a very quick kind of whistle-stop tour through certification and the value. And, you know, as I said at the start, I know that it does polarize, and some people will say that the practical experience matters much more than having the badge or the piece of paper. But actually, there is a lot to be said about actually showing that commitment to the profession, ensuring that actually you are looking at what are the standard skills and the frameworks associated with it. And as I say, please come and join me in the networking session so we can debate it a little bit more. Video, are you there?
Yes. Thank you, Debbie. We don't seem to have a lot of questions, but if you would like to share any last thoughts about career growth, please feel free to do that.
I'm going to have a little look at some questions here, I think, and see if there are any.
If not, we'll take the time to wrap up. I must thank you, Debbie, for doing this for us. This was highly informative and an engaging session on certifications for career growth and test maturity. We appreciate your time and expertise, and we're grateful for the knowledge you've shared with us. Everyone, please join me in thanking Debbie Archer with a virtual round of applause. With that, transitioning to the closing note, as this is the last breakout session, we'll now take a short break. After the break...
Hi, video.
Yes, Debbie? Can you hear me? Debbie, can you hear me?
Hi, video.
Can you hear me, Debbie? Hello.
I think we have a little technical problem here. I can see Simon. Simon, thank you very much. I can see that you've asked a question there, so I'm just going to go ahead and answer it. So, ISTQB, as you know, provides a body of knowledge in the software testing industry that covers processes, methods, and techniques. and defines a core framework for the profession. TMI focuses on test process improvement through its standard test maturity model and assessment framework. And I think together they're creating a much stronger foundation for the standardization and advancement of software quality. You may or may not know that there's an agreement between TMMI and the ISTQB to actually advance the profession and drive standards and hopefully benefiting companies and professions alike.
Hey, can you hear me, Debbie?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, thank
I
you
think
so much, Debbie.
I think I went through that a little bit quickly as you had watching time. Simon, thank you for your question.
Um, I didn't see any questions, so let's take the time to wrap it up since this is the last session. Thank you so much, Debbie, for the informative and engaging session on certifications for career growth and test maturity. We appreciate your time and we are grateful for the knowledge you've shared with us. Your insights on the importance of certifications in advancing professional standards in software testing and quality assurance have been very valuable.
Oh, thank you.
Please join me in thanking Debbie Archer with a virtual round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Simon.
With that said, since we are concluding the breakout sessions, um, let's now take a short break. And after the break, I'll be sharing some closing remarks to wrap up the Test Formation 2025. This will include the announcement of our gamification challenge winners. So be sure to stick around to see if you have won. And then please join us for our networking sessions where you will have the opportunity to connect with the industry leaders from our sponsors. Learn how AI, ML, and continuous education are transforming the world of testing and shaping the future. We look forward to seeing you after the break.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all. Thank you, Debbie.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.